Hey y'all, it's Lippy with Gemini Homestead. As you can see, I got my winter pajamas on. It's gonna get down to 46 here in North Louisiana. I know to some of y'all, you're laughing right now. I promise you, I get cold, y'all. So, I'm in my pajamas. I'm just keeping it real, but we're gonna do some fried chicken. Now, a couple of months ago, I did this on our live. But the ones that was on it are the ones that have watched. You really didn't get to see how I actually cooked it. Well, you're going to get to see today. Or should I say, let's see the clock. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You can still see daylight, but time is starting to change. So, I'm going to get everything set up for y'all, and I'm going to show you step by step how I do my fried chicken. And we're going to be using thighs. You can use any part of the chicken. I just prefer a thigh. Okay, here we have 6 thighs. What I did is I thawed them last night and I seasoned them. And I'm going to turn it over. And what the seasoning is your choice of hot sauce. I used Crystal. Your choice of seasoning. I used my Creole seasoning with black pepper and a little Himalayan salt, because I don't put a lot of salt. But you see, if you can get close, the marinade. Now, the trick to chicken is to allow it to rest 30 minutes on the counter before you fry it. If you fry cold chicken, you're not going to get it done to the bone, and your skin will not crisp up, okay? All I'm doing is just kind of rolling this around on its opposite side. Y'all see I'm holding this camera with one hand. There we go. And then I'm going to pour this into it. And all this is a seasoned self-rising. I just use self-rising because it's got the salt in it. And I added my own seasoning. So there again, you make it to your flavors. But what's in here is white pepper, not black pepper, Creole seasoning, a little garlic powder, and just a hint of paprika. This is going to get dumped into here, and we're going to get to frying. Now, here is the oil. This is lard that I rendered probably about 4 months ago, but I'm going to show you. This is a 6-quart porcelain inlay, but I'm going to show you the depth of my oil. Let me see. There is I'm looking at about 3/4 of an inch. Because you're just trying to get your oil halfway to your chicken, not covering it. Okay, you saw the oil. Now, I told y'all that was lard that I actually rendered. But it doesn't mean that you can't fry chicken if you don't have lard rendered from home. Just make sure, I would not recommend an olive oil. I would use like a peanut oil. You could actually use a canola oil. But an oil that has less flavor. High heat resistance. Your olive oils are not. So, all I've done is add, and I'm going to bring the camera closer, I added the flour mixture into this is what I call my chicken container. And all I'm doing is shaking it around. That's all I've done. And my oil's over here heating. I pretty much had it heated. Now, I don't check mine by a thermometer, but if you choose to, bring that oil up to 365 degrees, because when you drop this chicken in, it's going to drop that temperature down to about 350. That's the temp that you actually want to fry chicken on. I actually test mine by my hand. My hand is about 1 inch to 2 inches, let's say 2 inches above the oil. When it feels warm to my hand, not just its heat, when it feels a little warm, then it's ready. If it's smoking, you done messed up. You done went too doggone far. But you'll be able to tell. And see, it's not quite ready. I'm using a flat top electric stove. My number is on number 5. Because what you don't want to do is cook chicken on a high heat. You want it in that medium range. You want to bring the oil up on a medium, and you want to maintain that. if your oil is bubbling, it's loud. Like when that chicken hits, you want to hear that popping, but you don't want it to where, and you'll be able to tell the oil actually try to come up around then your heat's too high, okay? This is easy. This is not complicated. So I know I'm about to make a mess, but that's okay. Oil's heating, and oh my, we fix to have some fried chicken. And then over here in this pot, and I'll bring you closer, is 15 bean soup. Of course, I don't make mine with a lot of liquid, and I'll share that with y'all. It goes so well. And then some hot water cornbread, and I mean, it don't get any better than that, y'all. Now we're going to go in with the secret ingredient. Butter. That's right, I said butter. That's what makes fried chicken good. Butter's going in the oil. You're going to hear it sizzle. That's what you want. And that's what you want. The foam that you're actually seeing is from the butter. And you see the chicken looks like it's covered, but it really isn't. Because if you look right here, guys, if I move that foam away, you'll see that oil is halfway up. Here's another spot right there. It's halfway up the chicken. Cover your pot. 7 minutes. Don't do anything else. 7 minutes. Make sure it's on that medium setting, okay? And then we're going to turn the chicken back over for another 7 minutes. We're going to turn our first piece. I want you to see the color. See that? And the reason why you cover your pot is because you want to get that meat cooked closest to the bone first. Because the lids will come off. Not too bad for one-handed, huh? Alright, now we're going to see if we can get this one turned. Look at there, we did. Now we're going to go another 7 minutes with the lid on. The lid's going to come off. And we're going to let it go 3 to 4 minutes on each side with the lid off. So your chicken's done. So we're looking at 14, about 20 minutes. And it's done. I'm going to turn it over. And we're going to count 4 minutes. And we're going to turn it back over 4 minutes. And we're going to be eating 15 bean soup, fried chicken, and hot water cornbread. We're going to pull it off. Now, I don't know if you can see, all I got is a, what do you call these things? I call it a cookie tray thing. I don't know, it was in a roaster I found. Y'all get the message. It's Lippy, you know? And I got it sitting on a piece of foil. So I can throw my mess away. But you want your chicken to drain. Don't set it on a paper towel if you can avoid it. Because that's just going to make it get soft on the bottom. And you want crispy chicken all the way around. So you want it to drain. I know some of y'all going to write me and say, it's called a so-and-so. Maybe y'all need to. But I don't know what it's called. I can cook y'all, but some of these gadgets, I don't know what they're called. Ooh. Just another step closer to supper, y'all. I'm going to bring that camera in and let y'all see it real close. Wish you could smell it. Oh, you talk about good. There's the chicken, y'all. And I'm going to put my hand on this one so y'all could maybe hear it. See? You hear that crisp? And I'm going to turn, boy, that's hot. Yeah. I'm going to turn it over so I can show y'all the bottom. You can see what I'm talking about. See? And it's crispy. And I'm going to let it sit here while I work on my hot water cornbread. And then we're going to plate it up. We're ready to eat. And boy, is it good too. Look. We got our 15 bean soup, which I make mine a little thicker. Some hot water cornbread. And this fried chicken. But as I was looking at the video, I realized I told you wrong. I'm going to admit when I tell you something wrong. But I told you I was cooking thighs. Now everyone knows, and some may not, thighs take longer. When I gave you the time in my head, which is 7 minutes with the lid on, turn the chicken over, 7 minutes with the lid on. With the lid off, I told you 4 minutes on each side. That's for white meat. You need to go 7 lid on, turn, 7 lid on, turn. 7 minutes with the lid off, turn, 7 minutes with the lid, turn it, and then 7 minutes with the lid off. So you're going to have 14 minutes on the lid with the lid on. You're going to have 14 minutes cooking with the lid off to crisp it up. It's a total of 28 minutes for dark meat, 20 minutes for white. I didn't realize when I said that, because I was just talking, I looked at the clock on the stove. That's what I looked at. But I had already turned the camera off when I looked at it, and I didn't think about coming back on and showing you the clock. But when I replayed the video, I gave you the time for white meat. So, let's recap. Season your chicken. Let it sit room temperature for 30 minutes. Then you're going to flour it, and I use a seasoned self-rising. What I mean by seasoned is self-rising flour with my own seasoning. I chose to use Creole, white pepper, a little paprika. You can put garlic powder on you. You really make it your flavor. I showed you how much oil, and I use lard. Try not to use olive oil when frying anything. And then I put the chicken in. I told y'all 365 degrees if you were using a thermometer. I chose to use my hand, but I've done this for years. You put your chicken, you put your stick of butter in. As soon as that butter melts, put your chicken in, put the lid on. 7 minutes. Turn the chicken, put the lid on, 7 minutes. Take the lid off, turn the chicken, 7 minutes. Leave the lid off, turn the chicken, 7 minutes, 28 minutes, you're done. And let it rest. Try not to let it soak up on paper towels, because it will not get crispy on both sides like this has. So I apologize, but you know, we're human. But I'm about to eat. I'm glad I got my pajamas on, because you know, after a meal like this, you're just gonna be like, it's bedtime. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, God bless.